Hey, I'm Candace Scalise. You're watching 21 Next, and today we are talking about an interesting immigration case and a person who was detained by ICE, but their family says they shouldn't have been for a number of reasons. I want to bring in Alex Still. She's the one who was really working on this story. And Alex, tell us the name of the person who was detained and how his family is reacting, why they're saying that he should not have been arrested.
Yeah, Candace. So this is Martin Diaz. These are the pictures of him that you're looking at right now. That's his wife, Lauren. And I spoke with Laura yesterday, and as well as his stepdaughter. And they tell me that he has a work permit that is valid until 2028. So essentially, her lawyer told them that he should not be detained because of that work permit, which is valid through 2028. And he was detained outside the Adams County Human Services building. That happened on Tuesday morning. And essentially, what happened was he was appearing there for court appearances relating to a harassment and assault charges that had happened within the family. There was a family altercation that they told me about, but they told me that those charges were dropped. It was reduced to a simple traffic violation. He'd been doing everything he was supposed to do in terms of going to the court appearances. And then after a court appearance is when ICE arrested him and detained him. And he's now in the Cambria County prison while he awaits a hearing on the 24th. But they told me that that work permit that is valid until 2028 means that he really shouldn't have been detained.
Where is he from originally? Did the family say, or how long he's been in the U.S.?
So he's from Mexico. He was born in Mexico, but he came to the U.S. more than 20 years ago and has been living in York Springs since 2011. So he is in his 30s now, came to America when he was 15. So he's built a life here. He's worked here. They told me he's continuously been paying taxes. He's been doing everything that he needs to do, and that they've been in the process of getting him a green card. So he got married to Laura in 2018. And then they started working through all of that processing in order to get him his green card. And the lawyer told them, essentially the green card was on their fingertips before this detention happened.
Really interesting case here because of the work permit and the green card. Has ICE responded to this arrest? Have you been able to get in touch with anyone to explain the process behind something like this when somebody does have a work permit?
So I did reach out to ICE specifically with questions about that work permit, and they responded to me asking for Martin's specific date of birth, the parameters surrounding his detention, all of that stuff, and I gave that back to them, and I have yet to hear anything from them. But we do know that there have been other cases like this that have happened in central Pennsylvania. So, for example, you might remember we covered this a few months ago back in Lancaster. There was a woman named Esther Solomon. She was also detained and eventually ended up being deported. But she was detained after a simple traffic violation stop. Police had pulled her over and found out that she didn't have a valid license, and was driving with her children in the car. Then ICE detained her. So it seems like there is a bit of a connection with some simple, criminal charges here that then ICE is able to potentially come in and detain people based off of those criminal charges or simple criminal situations that have been happening like that, because that's a similar instance that we saw in Lancaster.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see the parameters. Like, if you have a work permit, does that, stand up in trial? So is this guy going to have a court date?
His court date's November 24th.
Okay.
So he's currently being held in the Cambria County Prison, which is about 2.5 to 3 hours away from York Springs. So it's a considerable distance away from the family, and he does have young children. So something that Laura told me has been really difficult on her and the family is her trying to explain to her kids where their father is, because he went to work one day and then hasn't come home since, and the kids are pretty distraught. So they're awaiting that court hearing on November 24th, and then they'll be able to figure out more information then. What I was told by the family is that their lawyer said that hopefully this work permit not expiring until 2028 will be enough for them to release him and without bail. But again, that lawyer said it could really go either way. So we're just waiting for that court date to see more information. And we're also waiting to hear back from ICE. And I've been continuously following up with them. So we'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to what they say, as far as, because I know we've spoken to different police departments too, who are also trying to understand ICE rules and operations as a federal agency, and we don't always know what their rules and regulations are. So it'll be interesting to see what they have to say about this specific case. I know you said you talked to Laura and it's been hard on her family. Tell me a little bit more about your conversation with her.
So Laura, she married Martine in 2018, and the other person that I spoke with was Martine's stepdaughter, Laura's daughter, Alexa. They tell me Martin really stepped up to be a father figure to them after he married Laura. And they essentially have been living in York Springs this whole time. They told me he loves York Springs because it's kind of like Little Mexico, is what he said. So it reminds him a lot of home. And you could see them there in the hospital with one of their children. So he has really stepped up to the plate to be a father for her 3 other children, and they have 3 children of their own. So he's been a father figure for 6 children, and now they're all left without their patriarch of the family. So they've been pretty lost without him, is what they told me.
Yeah, yeah. You said, I know that when we spoke with, we saw like an interview with her earlier, and she was pretty distraught about the whole thing as they await that court appearance on the 24th. So a really interesting case. You're obviously impacting a local family in our area. Anything else that you want to add that I didn't ask you about this case?
I don't think so. I think it'll just be interesting to continue to try and get answers from ICE and to see the links and connections there between what has happened with other cases in our coverage area in Lancaster County, with Esther Solomon and a traffic violation being the thing that was able to then allow them to go in and potentially detain her. And then she got deported. So it'll be interesting to see what specific parameters allow ICE to come in and do something like this. And that's something that I'm trying to work on answers for. And we'll obviously keep everybody updated with that on air and online. So make sure to stay tuned to CBS 21 if you want to continuously follow updates for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I do know with Esther Solomon in the Lancaster case, she did not have a work permit, but she had been here illegally for like 20 years. So she
Right.
didn't have like she wasn't a legal US citizen, and that's why she was deported.
Right. And I know in that case too, she had been similarly to Martine in the process of acquiring a citizenship or a green card, but
Right.
not quite actually securing that yet. So it'll be again interesting to see at different points of the citizenship process where this has been happening. And this case in particular is interesting because of that work permit. The lawyer saying it's valid till 2028. He shouldn't be detained. So that'll be interesting to get answers from that as well.
Yeah, yeah, to get some answers. But thank you. I appreciate you talking to the family, getting their perspective about things from their point of view, and then also reaching out to get some more information about the legal process and how all of this happens, as it's impacting several communities in our area. So thank you, Alex. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, so you can find out more about this case on CBS21.com. Alex did a full report speaking with the family. And as she said, we are working to get that information from ICE about the work permit and, kind of what happens next before that court date, if we're able to get those answers beforehand. And if not, hopefully we'll get some answers in court, as well as we are in touch with the lawyer too. So thanks for joining us for our 21 Next.